Hey, you're listening to Smoke Meat. I'm your host, Brad Pittman. Smoke Meat's brought to you by Joe's Underground at the corner of 8th and Broad in Augusta, Georgia, in the bottom of the Lamar building. Just a great place. They always make you feel great when you go in. Go hang out with Jeremy and the gang. Let them know I sent you. Have you a good drink, meet you some new friends, hang out with old ones. Either way, I goes to Joe's and so should you. That's Joe's Underground, the corner of 8th and Broad in Augusta, Georgia, in the bottom of the Lamar building. Today I've got a very special guest. She's the woman behind some of your favorite shows such as Hell's Kitchen, Hotel Hell, the Guinness Book of World Records, Prime Time on Fox, just all kind of good stuff. When Animals Attack, she is just one of the queens, if not the queen of reality TV. That's right, I'm talking about Miss Sheila Conlin. Today, we get to sit down and just have a great time talking to her. So go on ahead and kick back and relax and just take a good listen. We're going to get this beast kicked off right here for you on Smoked Meat. How you doing today, Sheila?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Any better, I would be twins. Oh,
I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, how's it looking out there in California right now? Is it pretty?
Oh, it is beautiful, but it is super, super hot today.
Oh, man.
Super hot. But I'm not complaining. We do have great weather in Southern California.
Yeah, but in Georgia, if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes and it'll change.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
Very true.
Uh,
How's it
you,
there in Georgia?
well, this morning it was beautiful. Blue skies, not hot, and now we have a storm rolling in, so yeehaw.
Oh my gosh. So take
Yep.
cover, right? You have to take cover.
Yep. Which I'm fine. I'm in the basement. That's where my studio's at.
Well, that's good because in case you have one of those huge rainstorms, or do you guys get the tornadoes, right? The tornadoes there.
Yeah, we get tornadoes and no fun.
Oh, boy.
Especially since I work in that stuff when it happens. So mm,
Oh, that's crazy.
yeah, yeah. We rush in when everybody else rushes out. I'm a paramedic, so mm,
Oh, God bless you. Wow.
well, thank you.
Wow.
And I know, like I told you, doing some of my research. I try not to fanboy out on any of my shows. Yeah, I hate to say it is going to happen on this one.
Okay, fanboy out on me.
Oh
Go for it.
yes, indeed. You've got two of my, well, actually a lot of my favorite shows in the world, but three of my favorites. Of course, Worst Cooks in America, Hell's Kitchen, and Kitchen Nightmares.
Oh, that's so cool. Well,
Oh yeah,
guess which one of those three is my absolute favorite?
I'm gonna guess Hell's Kitchen. Well, I don't know.
No,
Probably the
Kitchen
Worst Cooks.
Nightmares.
Oh, Kitchen
Kitchen
Nightmares.
Nightmares. Kitchen Nightmares.
Ah,
That I had so much, how do I say it? It was so rewarding, so wonderful to work on that. I started on that from the very beginning. It was a show that originated in the UK with
mm-hmm,
Gordon, and it was a one camera, kind of just, guerrilla style shooting when they were doing it there.
mm-hmm.
And after we had been doing it, Hell's Kitchen for a few seasons, one of the other producers and I said, we should really do Kitchen Nightmares. And of course, Gordon was for it. And so he and I spent time figuring out how to do it here in the US. And then, sure enough, way more cameras, took way longer to do. But I have to say, it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. And to work with these restaurants and the people, the mom and pops that, the families that run them and, got them started and passed on to generation from generation. It was just so great for Gordon to go in there
Mm-hmm.
and help them turn it around. And he wasn't easy on them. We know that.
Yeah,
But he was able to whip them into shape and give them a lot of advice to help them go on to the next level.
yeah. Because everybody thinks it's easy to run a restaurant, and it's not. There's a lot to it.
Oh, it is so difficult. Yes.
Yeah.
And my heart goes out to everybody right now too, with the restaurants because everything's had to close. So hopefully, I'm not going to say too much right now, that there's going to be some similar kitchen nightmare shows out there helping these restaurants.
Outstanding. We're open here in Georgia now.
Yeah, they all
So
still need some help,
yeah, oh
you know,
definitely. Because I
because
mean,
it's a whole new model. Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah, you can't pack a house anymore because of
Nope,
just social distancing. You can't do it, and it's hurting
right,
people.
right. And then Worst Cooks. I love Worst
Oh,
Cooks.
I
Oh my
love it.
God. One of my favorites was when it was Ann Burrell and Bobby Flay.
Hmm.
Excuse me. And we were filming, I think it was in Florida. Yeah, in Miami. Oh my gosh. So much fun. I think we were doing the opening to the show, and then we did some casting there. But I have to say, Anne and Bobby, so much fun to go out to dinner with and to go have drinks with.
Oh, I'll bet.
It was such a treat. So lots of fond memories from that show.
Hmm. I think my favorite ones have oh, his name's Alton Brown. He's one of my
Oh,
favorites on there for some reason. He's like me. He's got that sarcasm going on
yes,
that
yes.
works. But yeah, I love that one. And like I say, of course, Hell's Kitchen. I mean,
Well,
what can
yeah,
you say?
Hell's Kitchen, I must say too. I mean, that one is so rewarding. And the fact when we first started it, it was back in, oh my God, when did I do the first one? 2003, I think.
Somewhere along in there.
2003 or 2004. Oh my gosh, I should know this. But it was really something to reach out to these people that, line cooks, prep cooks, dishwashers that wanted to be on the line, you know, we call them, the kitchen, everybody working in the kitchen that really have this passion and love for cooking, and they're trying to work their way up. And running and owning your own restaurant is very difficult
Hmm.
and hard to get to that level. So when this show came around, we took all of those people at that level and we're like, great, you come on the show, compete against other people like you, and the goal is to get you working at one of Gordon's restaurants.
Yeah.
And we've turned out so many great chefs from that show, that's been able to elevate them into having their own restaurants. So I feel like we did a good job.
Yeah. I think my favorite two on there are Dave and Van.
So what? Say that again.
I think my favorite two from that show are Dave and Van. Because,
Dave and Van.
yep,
Yeah. Oh yes. 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 Yes.
yep. I've actually sent a few
Oh.
messages to Van trying to get him on the show and hadn't heard anything back. I know he's busy, so. Eh.
Oh my God. Well, maybe I can reach out for you.
Oh, that would be
Gosh,
amazing.
if I had his number, let me
Yeah.
see if I have his number handy.
Because I'm coming
Um.
up on my 100th show, and I want to find somebody that just I've never even thought of having before.
Well, you let me know, and I'll reach out and see if I can get him on the show.
Oh yeah, if you can get him by all means. That would be
Okay.
amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, but it tickles me. A lot of people say, "Well, that stuff's not real," and it's pretty real. I
Oh, let me
mean,
tell you, I started reality TV from the very beginning, and it is truly authentic. And, I mean, things have changed now. I can't speak for every show that's out there now,
mhm,
but in the beginning, on the shows that I cast and the shows that I produced, it was real. It was the real deal, especially in a competition show. You can't mess around because it's a thing called standards and practices at the
mhm.
network. And when there's money involved or a prize involved for winning, you have to really follow the rules.
Yeah,
And these kids, I call them kids, or the contestants that came through, they worked their butts off. And it was truly a competition, and Gordon did not make it easy on them. And rightly so. I always say the reason being, someone needs to learn how to cook at a level of perfection. Otherwise, you make a lot of mistakes in the kitchen, it could actually kill someone.
yeah,
Yeah. So the stakes are high, no pun intended. And, they really did compete and they did learn. I mean, it
mhm,
was going from being a line cook, a prep cook, all of a sudden being trained, to like a five-star chef.
yeah.
So it's grueling, very grueling, and kept them on their toes. So that show is very authentic, very much so.
Yeah, and as much as he yells, it looks like it'd be so much fun though.
Oh
Just
yeah.
because I love to cook. I'm not at that level where I would make him really happy. He would like my food, but he would like to sell my food. And I'm
You would-
pretty sure I would probably be Clemenza on there. That's my guess.
well, we should try and get you on there.
Oh, all you got to do, you've got the number. All you got to do is go, hey, we need a fat redneck boy. Come on out here. Oh, yeah. But, it tickles me that, so many people audition for these things, and you cast them also. And that must be nearly impossible to, out of the thousands of people that put in for this, to narrow it down to, 16 or 18 people.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, there's been, especially in the beginning years, well, I should say all throughout the years, the numbers just grew and grew. But I would watch, it usually fell during Thanksgiving time, during the Thanksgiving break or holiday.
Hmm.
And I watched every single interview that we did, every audition tape. And I would have crews of about, I don't know, 7, 8 different crews all over the US
Hmm.
filming people at auditions. And I would watch every single one. So sometimes I know it's been
Mm.
over a thousand or more, to narrow it down to the next batch and then narrow it down again and then narrow it down again. And I think when we would get to, might have been like 40, 50
Hmm.
people, then we would fly them to LA
Hmm.
and meet them face to face. And that's how we got our 16.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, that's it. I just couldn't imagine sitting down and going, okay, I've got to watch this couple of thousand videos, and oh, that and
It was actually really, it was good. It was good. Very interesting.
mm,
Um, and of course, reading their applications, hearing their story, and then watching their interview.
mm,
It was great. I have to say I love my job. That's for sure.
yeah, that's a wonderful thing, and it shows because I mean, you don't put out garbage; you put out good shows.
Yeah, really well shot. Our crew, our photography, our video, the way it's all executed, and then our post team. Everybody is super, super the best of the best. And I can say that on Hell's Kitchen, Kitchen Nightmares. We also did Hotel Hell, which was very similar to Kitchen Nightmares,
Hmm.
and Worst Cooks. I mean, all really well done.
Yeah,
And thank you. That's a nice compliment.
yeah, because I'm the kind of guy I will rewatch something 20 times that I like before I watch something once that I don't like. And
Oh,
I've gone on Hulu, I've gone on Netflix when it was on there, Amazon when it was on there, and I've seen every episode of Hell's Kitchen. And it's funny because I know who's going to win, and I still watch it.
wait, because you've seen it before. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I was going to say, how did you figure that out? You must be psychic.
But no, I'll rewatch them all the time because I love good shows. And the
Good.
one person I've been curious about on there was the girl that was the Waffle House cook that Gordon
Oh,
sent to culinary school. Have y'all heard how she turned out with that?
oh my God, I'm trying to remember her name. Yes, she turned out great. I think she has a restaurant, or she's working in a restaurant in Nashville.
Nice. I know she was spunky, and people talk smack about Waffle House. When I was younger, I actually became a certified Waffle House grill operator. I did that part time,
Oh
and
wow.
that place ain't no joke. I mean,
Oh no,
it's
I love eating at Waffle Houses. Oh my God, it's delicious.
oh, I love it. I can teach you the secret to their omelets.
Oh, you can?
I can. Oh yeah, it's a
Ooh.
wonderful thing. We'll do that off the air.
Well, I always say, I'm really good at reading a menu
Hmm.
instead of the cooking.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love to cook. I had two strokes, and cooking is what brought me back. Um, I had two of them 5 years ago, and I learned to process meat. I learned to do my own sausages and my own pastrami, things like that. I do a venison pastrami that's actually healthy, and oh, it's great. And that centered me, and that made it where I was able to get back on an ambulance and do what I do. And I learned to,
Wow, a venison pastrami? I've never had that.
oh, it is amazing. It is amazing. If you start filming anything in Atlanta, let me know about 2 weeks ahead of time,
Oh, I will.
and
I
you will
will.
have one.
Well, hopefully we can get out and start filming again. Everything's been put on hold for us right now.
Yeah.
Um, Fortunately, I have one of my shows that I worked on in 2019. We cast and then filmed most of the year, and it's airing July 15th on Netflix. And it's called Skin Decision. It's about to cut or not cut,
Hmm.
plastic surgery, improvement, beauty techniques for men and women.
Oh,
But that's going to air, and then a lot of the other stuff that we've been working on sort of had to come to a halt because we can't go out to physical production right now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's. I think it's going to change the industry some, and I really hate it. But at the same time, some everything needs shook up once in a while. Just not this
Yeah.
dramatic of a shake up. Next time, just make some new SAG rules or something. Don't give us a pandemic to stop everything for a while. Yeah. You
Exactly.
see, I personally feel like I am the cause of the pandemic, and I will tell you why. Before
Oh,
this
tell me.
before this thing started, I have a friend. I've done comedy for 30 years, and we're not like hangout buddies or none of that. But if we see each other somewhere, we'll talk and hang out there. And okay, show's over, we're gone. Well, before this started, he sent me some sides from a script. He said, I've written a pilot, and I want you to audition for two of these parts. And one of the parts I was born for. It is me all day long. And I sent him my tapes, and I still say tapes, sent him my videos. And before they were able to cast it, boom, everything shuts down. So I must have been about to get the part because that's my luck.
Oh my gosh. Well, wait a minute. You've got to talk talk to me about the comedy. I was a comedy agent for years before I started producing reality.
Ah,
I was at APA,
mm-hmm,
and that was back in the day when it was Drew Carey, Brett Butler, Rita Rudner, um, Steve Martin, John Candy, Charles Fleischer, Dana Gould. I mean,
you have not
the
named a
list went
bad
on.
person yet.
I know. We had the most amazing roster.
Mm-hmm,
The only one we didn't have that should have fit in this category was Seinfeld,
mm-hmm,
but we had everybody else, and that was the time when we were getting everybody their own shows.
mm-hmm.
So it was super exciting. The comedy clubs were amazing, booking them in the clubs all over. It was just a great time for comedians.
Yeah, and I love doing it. Like I said, I've been doing it for 30 years, and I've never had an agent. I've always just kind of done my own thing. And here in the last 6 or 7 months, I've just gotten really serious with it. And of course, boom, pandemic hits, and I haven't been able to be on stage.
Right now, what are the comedy clubs in your area again? I'm trying to remember.
We've got the Punchline, and we've also got
Oh
the
yeah,
Laughing Skull.
oh Punchline. I remember. I
Yeah,
would definitely remember. That's been around for a long time.
yeah, and it's a new incarnation of the Punchline. It's not in the same building,
Okay.
but we've also got the Laughing Skull, which the owners of it are out of New York. They do a big festival every year, the Laughing Devil Festival and the Laughing Skull Festival.
Huh. Okay.
But it's one of the main ones in Atlanta. It does open mic every week, and I mean, you never know who's going to drop in. Ron White comes in there a lot of times just to work out material, things like that.
Oh, that's fun.
But I got to
That's
be in the
fun.
very first annual Peachtree Comedy Festival last year, which was really fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had a great time with that. But
Yeah, there's just so it's just such a great form of entertainment. I mean, to be able to watch and enjoy. There's, laughter is very healing, and it's also a really good time.
Yeah. And I look at it this way. I'm trying to get a room full of complete strangers to have the same involuntary response to something I say at the same time, and it's awesome when it happens. And of course now, a lot of comics are, doing what I call living room shows. They're putting up a backdrop and filming their act. And God bless the ones that can. I just can't do that because I feed off that audience. But
Oh, right, right. Well, another big thing I was so grateful that I had an opportunity to work with was I worked with Phyllis Diller.
oh man,
I was her tour manager for about 4 years.
you met Fang.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was awesome. And of course, we would do dates with Paul Reiser, Steve Landisberg, Norm Crosby. Is it Norm Crosby? I'm forgetting all the names. Um, yeah, I mean, she was amazing to work with. And I was with her when she went from the big stage.
Hmm.
And that's when the comedy clubs are starting to pop up. And she took her act from the big stage and we formulated it to the smaller comedy club.
Nice.
That was so exciting.
Yeah, because people don't realize, they see comics in like these little bitty rinky dink clubs and think, oh, they're going down. No, they're working out new material. You're
Yeah,
privileged to see them there because you're seeing this for the first time.
yeah. Oh, I remember at the Improv in Hollywood. Hollywood. Oh, I just said Hollywood. That's not a well, a little slip there. Um, to watch Jim Carrey
Hmm.
go up at the Improv, that was just uh, unbelievable, right? I
Yeah,
mean, oh, he was well, he still is fabulous.
yeah,
But in that small setting in the comedy club and have watch him work out material, those are those great moments.
yeah, yeah. I remember when he did the imitation of the guy caught in the wind. 'Cause, a lot of people don't know he can dislocate his shoulder, and you had both arms flapping one way. It was just awesome.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites. And I don't know, there's so many. I love comedy. Music and comedy are two of my, you know, ultimate passions.
Yeah. Well, if you want to see some of my stand up, I've got a YouTube channel. It's Brad's Comedy. It's all one word with no apostrophe,
Oh, I'll go and look.
and it's also got some characters on there. Now, all of my
Okay.
characters are. I didn't know who they were going to be except for one of them. The clown, I knew who he was going to be. Murray. He is not your normal clown at all.
Ah,
He is horrible. He drank a fifth of bourbon during his first video that lasted 10 minutes. Of course, it was tea in the bourbon bottle because if I drank like Murray, I would die. But all my other characters, I didn't know who they were going to be until I put on the wig or mustache, whatever I had with them. And everything's one take and it's all improv.
oh my God.
Uh,
Oh my God.
in
All right, I'll
December,
check it out.
in December, I did a 30-minute Christmas special like that. So it was a lot of fun.
Wow.
It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun because everything I did myself, I was the only one down here doing it.
Oh my God. As I say, anything good or anything, entertaining, it is a lot of work.
Yeah,
People don't realize too what it takes to put stuff on, whether you're the actual performer, the talent, in front of the camera or on the stage, and also what it takes to put everything on behind the scenes.
yeah, yeah, and it takes a lot. I mean, even for just this little show that I do, doing those videos, it's man, but it's fun. And like I told my wife, I said I'll never get paid for none of this stuff, but I make people smile and I make them laugh, and that's what's important to me.
Right,
So,
right.
huh.
So so where do you get some of your material from? Do you write, or do you take experiences from your past, or kind of what's your process?
I'm kind of all over the place. When I first started, of course, I sat and wrote punchline or set up punch, and got up there with of course, it was early 90s, so I had on the silk print shirts, and you remember the uniform. And I'd get
Yeah.
up there and use the comedy voice. and then I got to where I'm like, that just doesn't work for me. So I took a good hiatus, and I came back, and I just started talking about. I would still write, but it was more stories, and I just get up and talk about what's going on with me, and it works. Some of the experiences I've had. I worked in a haunted house for a while, and I watched people and learned the different kind of reactions to scares, and that bit always goes over really well. And
Oh, wow.
I,
Okay.
I say I'm kind of a cross between Bill Engvall and Rodney Carrington.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
interesting. You said Rodney Dangerfield?
No, Rodney Carrington.
Oh, Rodney Carrington. Right.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that right.
yeah,
Okay, got it. Wow.
yeah. But I just love doing it, and it works for me. I had a friend of mine who he's a born again Christian. He's a great guy, very funny comic named Josh Harris, and he asked me about a year ago to do a show that he was doing. It was called The Funniest Doctors in the South. And I was the only one there that wasn't a doctor. I told him I'm a ditch doctor. And he asked me, he said, I need for you to do a clean show. I'm like, that's not a problem. And we sat down to do the rehearsal the night before the show, and kind of like a table read. And I had the word crap in one of my jokes, and he looked at me kind of sheepish, like he didn't really want to say it. But he finally did. He said, can you change that word?
Wow.
And I said, yeah, that's not a problem. And, writing that clean set was challenging for me because I couldn't cuss at all. I mean, I couldn't even say crap. But it was the most fun I've ever had on a show. And I
Wow.
respected that because that's what he wanted. It's his show. Okay, cool. We're good with this. And it was so much fun. And it's probably one of the best shows I've done. I think it's on the video. If it's not, just type in Brad Pittman funniest docs.
Okay. I'll look at it.
But it was so much fun to do, and helping other comedians, punch up their material while we were doing a rehearsal. And it's fun to do that because you can hear jokes that you've helped with that kill. And it's so
Oh,
great.
great.
Yeah. I love doing it.
Oh, I have to, as soon as you can, fly around again, you have to come on out here. We'll go hang out at the Improv or the Comedy Store
Oh,
or the Laugh Factory.
that would
I
be
love all of
amazing.
them.
I'm actually want to come out to California probably in the spring if we can. Because
Okay.
I've only been out there once, and we didn't really stop. We just went to Bakersfield to unload my brother's truck and left. So I want to actually go out there. I'm interviewing so many neat people, and I want to meet everybody.
Will you come on out here? I will take you around
Oh,
myself, and we'll go around meeting people.
outstanding. That'll work. Well, I tell you, if you come to Atlanta, you can consider yourself fed. Because
Oh, well, that I like. I am a foodie. I'm an eater. That is for
outstanding.
sure.
Outstanding. And there will be a venison pastrami waiting.
And you know what? I would love it. Venison pastrami. I love venison.
Hmm.
Definitely big meat eater. Meat, potatoes, vegetables, anything. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
it.
Welcome to my world. Daddy is a carnivore. Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Well, like I say, I've had a great time. And you're welcome on here anytime. I will promote anything you need me to. If you just want to get on and record, all you got to do is call and say, hey, mash the button. And we're there.
Oh, I would love that. Well, right now, if everybody just wants to tune in to Skin Decision on Netflix on July 15th, I will be thrilled. And keep watching Hell's Kitchen. And I know Kitchen Nightmares isn't on the air. I think Worst Cooks is coming out again. I'm not working on that one right now, but I think they are casting again in the U.S.
Mm.
I just saw something, but it's a great team of people, and I love that show. And I'll keep you updated on more good news from me coming soon.
Outstanding.